Okay, everybody, this is Barry from the Brewed Palette. I'm here with some very special people. We got, as I've told you guys about, Christine Celis, the daughter of the famous Peter Celis, Alex from Artisanal Imports, and you introduce yourself.
Oh, Mark McCarter from SKI Beer.
Yeah!
So, SKI Beer Distributors, that I've told you guys, is one of the biggest beer distributors in the New York area. I'm really glad to enjoy a lot of the beers you guys offer, but we're here specifically for you, Christine. So,
thank you.
Can you, of course, you have been doing a lot of new stuff lately, but a lot of people know about your father. So, can you just tell us a little bit about the legacy of your father and how it's influencing craft beer in Belgium and the U.S. nowadays?
Wow, that's a long story. In 1966, my dad started the Hoegaarden Brewery. So he's the one who revived the Belgian wheat beer, and he single-handedly put the wheat beer on the world map. Sorry.
That's a wonderful thing. That is.
So anyway, so in 1960 he started, couldn't follow the demand anymore. Then he he bought an old lemonade factory in Hoegaarden. He converted it into a brewery, and the brewery was just going on and on and on. Then in 1989 he sold the brewery to InBev because he was retired. He was 65 years old. At the age of 65, my dad and I moved to Austin, Texas, and started the Celis Brewery. And then we couldn't follow our demand anymore, and in 1995 we made a partnership with Miller, and in the year 2000 we sold the brewery to Miller Brewing Company, who unfortunately a year later closed down the brewery because they didn't believe in craft beer. Woo!
So,
That did still affect the brewing culture in America and Belgium, right? I mean, that
right,
still
of course.
had
The
effect.
Hoegaarden name is, and your father's name still influenced brewers nowadays in terms of Belgian wheat beer and in terms of just Belgian beer in general.
Right. My dad really, he wanted to educate people. He wanted to explain how Belgian beer is made. He was so proud of something that he revived because the style was really gone, but he took the time on educating people on what a wheat beer really is. So, he did not believe in just somebody that people always told him, like, you're completely crazy, Pierre. Don't start another brewery. There's nobody's gonna drink that beer, a cloudy wheat beer. He said, screw that. I will teach people how to appreciate Belgian wheat beer. And he did. He really did. And so that, the Belgian wheat beer is one of the fastest growing segments right now. Still it is, yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about Artisanal Imports. Authentic beer management, which is a big part of the Brewed Palette, as you guys know. So, Alex, can you just tell us about the partnership between the two companies and how they came together and how they're bringing a lot of really awesome, smaller Belgian breweries to the United States?
Well, I'll speak for Christine in that I'm sure she's known the president of Artisanal Imports, Bob Leggett, for many years, because he also is from Austin, Texas, and based out of there for 30-some years.
And he was the one who imported my dad's Belgian beer, the Hoegaarden. He was the one who imported that, yeah.
He took a risk and imported a crazy, weird microbrew import called Hoegaarden. Yeah.
Sweet, delicious beer.
I mean, this is a natural partnership. I mean, it's amazing to have like another partner in the U.S. So we just gained 9 breweries from Belgium. 9 breweries from Belgium. And we have a U.S. diplomat who is Belgian herself here kind of leading us. So it's a great partnership. And these are beers that are exciting to drink. and that's the leading part of it. You got to drink it. There's no marketing besides the liquid, really.
It's the quality of the beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys and I have been talking about recently about, you know, like just as much as there's a craft beer revolution in the United States, there's also a craft beer revolution in Belgium.
Just as artistic and experimental.
And
they like what we're doing over here just as much as we like what they're doing.
Yeah. So Christine, can you talk a little bit about what's going on in Belgium nowadays?
And I'll shut up.
Well, people, the younger generation, they just don't want to drink anymore the traditional beers that their father drank. I mean, we never want to do that. You don't, I don't. I mean, I do actually, but that's besides you and I. But normally you want to have always something that is better, different, than all of that. So there's so much more younger people right now that are trying to make some very unique beers. They don't want to make your traditional triple, your brown beer. It is all very different. It's the younger generation. They think outside the box. It's exactly what is happening in the United States. So why not?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you at SKI Beer Distributors, one of the bigger beer distributors in the city. What is it like, from you guys' perspective, like spreading the craft beer revolution, not only with the Belgian beers that you guys have in your warehouses, but also the American craft breweries? What has it been like for you recently, blending Belgian stuff and American stuff to spread what craft beer is all about?
Oh, I mean, it's been really exciting. I mean, to be fair, the stuff they're bringing to the U.S. is equally exciting, if not more, than what we're getting out here, because I don't know, the beer that they bring out, you can get people more excited about like a craft Belgian beer than what we're doing in New York City is this big local thing, and a lot of these like regional beers that they're good and they're great, but they're importing their malts from Germany, they're importing their hops from the Northwest, so who's to say they're doing it any better than the people in Belgium? So anytime I've tasted anyone on any of the beers that Christine's brought in, they take to it immediately and bring it straight into their bar, because it's extremely high quality liquid, and it comes from a historical tradition that's much larger than someone who's trying to make a quick buck in the U.S. So I really appreciate what she does and how she's able to bring stuff to the U.S. that you would never see. The bottles we're going to drink tonight for the first time is a flavor profile that you're not going to experience with any of the breweries that are within 300, 400 miles of New York City.
For sure. I mean, as we go along and learn about you guys, you're also doing some of your own stuff, like the Gypsy Project. Can you just talk a little bit about some of the collaborations you're doing within Austin, Texas itself, and then hopefully we'll get to try it, in New York and around the U.S. Eventually too.
I created the Christine Celis Brewing LLC. So that's the one that I'm focusing with that one on the Gypsy series. So I want to do, what I want to do with that is I want to brew with different breweries in Austin, in Texas, outside of Texas, even outside of the United States. I mean, I have all those connections. So the first one I did was actually with Edelberg Brewery. That was a Belgian IPA. It was all American hop. It was a European malt, and it was the Belgian yeast strain. So it was 60 ABUs. It was a little bit of a copper-colored IPA, and the response has been phenomenal. I mean, we could not follow the demand anymore. So right now, a lot of people that are into craft beers, they heard that I've been brewing this IPA, and now people are all over the U.S. want to have the IPA. I sent a bottle to the Brewing Institute in Belgium, where you have the PhDs, the brew engineers. So they analyze the beer, and they're like, wow, this is the perfect beer. This is really, the right hop aromatic, the right bitterness. So they thought it was the perfect beer.
Great.
So I think that my dad has given me quite a bit of his good genes.
One last question to just wrap this up. You're helping. You guys are helping spread the word about the Belgian craft beer scene in America. So, what is it like nowadays, and what are your guys' goals to continue spreading the Belgian craft beer scene within the U.S.?
More education. This is still the tip of the iceberg.
We still have a lot of work.
99.9% of beer drinkers still don't know about craft Belgian beer.
Right.
So, and there are so many new Belgian beers that haven't even been invented or brewed yet that may come over.
Right.
And so just sticking with these relationships and these breweries that we've introduced to the U.S.
Yeah, for sure.
And exposing, making people happy, making people healthy.
And giving them a Brewers quad. That's
Oh my God.
Not gonna full of vitamins.
Yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to helping spread the word on the Brewed Palate, obviously. Thank you to Alex for
Thanks, Barry.
for hooking me up with
Thanks,
this great
Brewed Palate.
connection. And thank you to Christine for helping bring these awesome beers to the U.S.
I would just want to say one more thing, that the beers the breweries that I'm looking at really is, they have to have something unique. Like, for example, the guy that makes the Heaven and Hell, he's the only one that bakes his own malt. I have another one, that uses time in his beer. I have those 3 young guys that make a phenomenal sour. So I'm looking for those really people that are very passionate about brewing. It's not about, let's put some ingredients together. It's about the passion, what you want to do, what you try to accomplish, and make something different. Think outside the box. Don't just make a blonde beer. Don't make a brown beer. I mean, everybody has done that before. Just do something unique, something that tells you, I can do this. This is different. And where you stand out from. Where's the point of difference from whatever is out there? So
I find that really interesting, actually, because it's like, of course, as American craft brewers, we respect the Belgian tradition and classic Belgian styles. But now, the Belgians themselves, these small, newer Belgian craft breweries are taking that tradition that we in America respect and making it their own, and adding things like thyme and American hops and different yeast strains and stuff like that. And really, just like in America we have traditions, so too in Belgium they also have traditions to expand upon.
Right, absolutely. In the old days, I remember when my dad would brew, he would use the Belgian yeast, the European malts, the European hops. Now all that has changed. Now it's just a global economy. Actually, we do collaborations with American breweries, with Japanese breweries. We use American hops in our Belgian beers. Now we work together. It's all to make a good beer that everybody can enjoy. Even from the different continents. So this is great. This is fantastic. We still have so much work ahead of us, though.
Yeah. So together with with ABM and Artisanal Imports, we're all gonna continue working together and spreading the word about good Belgian craft beer.
Hell yeah.
And thank you for bringing thank you for bringing such amazing Belgian craft breweries to the U.S.
Thank you so much. Thank you for enjoying.
Cheers.
Right. Cheers.
Well, cheers like this.
Woohoo.
Cheers.